On this episode of Stupid Money.
Give me the rules for thrift shopping. I've never been in a thrift store. I've never had a 4-button coat.
Well, I don't think you're going to have one now. Before you know it, it's $50,000.
Have you guys ever done anything stupid with your money? Have you ever done something stupid with your money? You ever made a guitar out of barnwood?
No, John.
I've always wanted a 4-button jacket.
You're ready to lose? To the dentist office?
Thank you so very much.
Here's the deal. Claudio and Pamela are not in business for themselves, but yet they're 200 feet away from my office. I thought they might have some interesting things to say about family finances. What do you do in family ministries?
Well, there's several aspects of our responsibilities. Key aspects are training. We train leadership. We train conference, union, pastors at the various levels. But we also provide resources. That's another one. So we write materials. We author books on family ministries. We do marriage retreats. We do retreats on domestic violence. How do you break the cycle of domestic violence? Parenting seminars. It's just, when you talk about family ministries, John, there's so many topics that come under this umbrella of family that we talk about.
It's an umbrella ministry.
Correct.
Covers a lot of things.
About 10 years into our marriage, we were struggling. I mean, that's the honest truth. We were going through a very difficult time, a rocky time in our marriage.
I thought I was going to go get some financial advice, but even professionals have rough spots in their marriage.
The advantage we had is that we've never considered divorce. We kind of follow the pattern from Billy and Ruth Graham. You know, Ruth Graham was once asked, have you and Billy ever considered divorce? And her answer was, we have never considered divorce.
Okay.
Murder, yes, but not divorce. But we haven't considered
So
either one.
you didn't go that far. Just for the record, we don't condone murder on this show.
It was actually through the journey of repairing our own marriage and acquiring skills to go through that time of conflict that we really became passionate about family ministries.
Every marriage is going to struggle.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we say, that our marriage has not been perfect. It has been good, but not perfect. We've had our ups and downs and our challenging times, but we have learned in the process how to navigate those troubling waters.
We realized that without a strong family, you can't have a small church, a strong church as a pastor, and I could not have strong schools as an educator. So family ministries really became the focus of my educational ministry and his pastoral ministry.
Yeah. So you made an interesting statement, Pamela. Strong families make strong churches and strong schools.
Yes.
And there's probably one area in society in general, seemingly all over the world, that's under attack more than anything, and that's the family.
Absolutely.
Now you're at the North American division level where you teach and train trainers. In doing that, what's the funniest thing you've encountered when you're teaching trainers?
Well, people tend to be so vulnerable sometimes, especially at couples retreats, and we have tried to manage questions by asking people to write them down. Because sometimes people will try to embarrass their spouse in a couples retreat. They just had an argument on the way to the couples retreat, and so now I'm going to get even. And they would say something like, I have a question.
I'm going to stop right here. Sometimes they just get awkward questions. I bet you had some discussions after that. So you got through that one.
We got through it. It's something we look back and smile on now. We had a couple come to us actually on the verge of divorce because they couldn't decide if the toilet paper should roll over or under. But I'm an educator and I love research. So believe it or not, John, I researched toilet paper. And if you go back to the Library of Congress, you can actually find the original patent for toilet paper. And the interesting thing is, when toilet paper was first introduced and produced, it came with instructions.
Okay.
See, if it came with instructions
would've
today, that couple would not have had that problem.
Well, they used a newspaper at that time, so they needed instruction for the toilet paper.
But the instructions said toilet paper is to roll over.
Okay.
So there you go.
There's the answer.
There you have
Hey,
it. There's the answer.
I know about newspaper because I grew up. We lived in a house. We called it 3 rooms and a path.
Oh, I know what
And,
that is.
So we went out to the outhouse. What do you enjoy about this type of work?
You know, there's so many stories that we can't tell because when you're dealing with people's lives and the intimacy issues and confidentiality issues, you can't share. But I think for Claudio and I, that's our biggest reward. When we see a couple or a family that have actually filed divorce papers, and at the end of our time together, they head to the court to withdraw those papers. For
And
us,
we meet
that's
them,
our reward.
Sometimes we meet them 2 and 3 years later because we hope it's not just a moment and they tell us it's been 3 years or it's been 5 years since we went to your retreat and we're still married. We're not having a perfect relationship, but it's so much better.
That's a payday right there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's right.
We were talking about some great stuff, and I wanted to get into family finances, but I just couldn't help it. I had to ask these professionals, what's some of the keys to a successful marriage? Can you guys give me 3 important things that you would tell 2 people that are married? These 3 things will make your marriage better than anything else.
I'd say time together, quality time together. We are so distracted by technology, by work, by so many things that we're not really being intentional about spending time together. Second thing, I think improve communication. They develop good communication skills because again, we're not really talking. Sometimes we just share information.
That's a little harder than spending time together. Okay. Communication, spending time together. Pam, what's the third?
I would say number 3, to understand that it's a covenant relationship.
Absolutely.
Understand that this is a decision we make on our wedding day, not just between Claudio and me, but between Claudio, me, and Jesus Christ.
Right.
And to understand we will have difficulties. We will have times of conflict. That it's not going to be perfect. But divorce is never going to be an option.
Right.
And I am making a covenant relationship until death do us part.
We have been transmitting incorrect messages. For instance,
Yes.
the divorce rate in America is 50%. That has never been true. It's never been higher than 37%, and it's more like about 27%. But when young people hear over and over that the divorce rate is 50%, then they figure, I'd rather move in with my special person than get married and get a divorce. So what we need to do is change the message.
So what happened there with giving the wrong percentage?
So in the 60s, with the introduction of freedom to love and the sex revolution, and then the no-fault divorce, the divorce rate went up drastically. So they said if it continues to go that way, it will reach 50%. And that idea of the 50% stuck in people's mind, and they began to say it is, but it never has been.
So I've heard that statistic as well. I guess this is the first time I've ever heard somebody say with authority that it really is a myth.
That's right.
If we continue, it's going to go there, but it's not there yet.
That's right.
Having been a chaplain, I was interested to learn about Claudio's work. Little did I know that our conversation would take us directly to why I was there. Here's the big question. Have you guys ever done anything stupid with your money?
Boy, I wish we...
She's got the stories.
I'm not so sure it's any one thing stupid, but I think it's a situation where
Before you tell me, I know you have a strong marriage, so I know this can be handled.
I think it's a situation where the pennies add up. The pennies add up into dollars.
It just worries me when she says it's not just one thing, it's a string of things.
So he has
it's
a
true.
trend. He has a trend.
No, it's true. It's not just one thing. And I'm making the point that it's $1 here, $1 there. And before you know it, it's $50,000. At one point, he was working on his professional degree, his advanced degree. And so he was not bringing home a salary. And so we were living off of my teaching salary at that point, and we racked up the credit card debts. Yeah. When what we should have done, we should have had a stricter budget and said, this is what we can live with this month. And maybe the clothes shouldn't have come from the department store, but should have come more from the thrift store. Yeah. And, things like that. So we weren't living within a budget. Yeah. So often we get our priorities mixed up.
I haven't always been careful with the credit card. It was a time when I was ordering things so often, I memorized all 16 numbers of the credit card.
I wonder how many times Claudio typed that number out in order for it to stick in his memory.
I didn't even have to pull it out. I would just simply write it up. And so ended up deep into debt because we had the gas card, the department store card, the other cards and all that. And had to make payments to everyone. So we talked about it and got a consolidation loan, cut up all those cards, and we just had the one payment, and we were able to dig ourselves out of it. And praise God, right now we're at the place where we have no debts.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take to pay that off?
It was several years. Several years.
But I think also, John, for me, regarding a mistake I think we made, I don't think we started young enough really planning for retirement. Mm-hmm. And I think, I wish I would have known back then what I know now. And so, praise God, within the past, several years, we have been taking very active steps because retirement is staring us in the face, mm-hmm. Taking very active steps to get this home paid for, and that really has been one of our biggest financial priorities, because we talk to so many couples nearing retirement, and even when they're eligible to retire, they can't, because a big thing is their home is not paid.
So what do you tell them? Get their house paid for?
Absolutely. If you
it really takes discipline.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does.
Yeah, now we don't spend money unnecessarily. Now we put every penny that we can on that mortgage account, so that because our goal is to get it all paid and be completely debt-free. The only payment that we have is our mortgage, and it's manageable.
Mm-hmm.
What about cars, vehicles?
Well, I have a car, honey, 11 years
11
or 12 years?
old.
12 years old. And I'm thinking, I still don't need a new car.
Pam brings out a good point, and I want to add to it. When the repairs of your car are more than the car's worth, it's time to get rid of it. If you buy a new car, keep it for at least 12 years. Then you'll be able to get your money out. Go back to this $50,000. You made all those stupid decisions, and they were stupid, as much as we hate to admit it.
Yeah.
And you got it paid off. Yeah. What did you learn from that?
Well, to begin with, never have a balance at the end of the month. So whatever we buy, and we use our credit cards all the time for everything because it helps us with points and miles and all those things.
You travel a lot, I imagine.
Absolutely, but we never have a balance at the end of the month. Then, of course, the second lesson is make sure that the moment you get paid, after tithe and offerings and all those other obligations, set money aside for your savings account. Because that money we can use then to make extra mortgage payments, therefore reduce the interest and the balance, the principal, and therefore pay it off faster.
In teaching people how to be better spouses, do you find they get into arguments about returning tithe and offerings? And those are struggles they have?
Yes, absolutely. For many couples, they pay all the other bills first, all of their responsibilities, and then it's like, well, we don't have money for tithes and offerings. Whereas for us, that's the first thing on our budget. It's not if there's money left over or if we have enough. I mean, God has been so good to us and has blessed us. How can we not?
In a way, that probably should be part of that covenant made back when two people
Yes.
unite their lives together.
You know, one of the questions we ask at our couples retreat, what is the number one cause of divorce? What would you say?
Well, it probably has something to do with money.
Nope.
No?
The number one cause of divorce is marriage.
I've heard Claudio say that before, and I still fell for it. Okay, so
But the number one complaint.
So what should I take away from that?
We soften the blow, so to speak,
That's
by
right.
asking that story. But we do say, what is the number one complaint? And you're correct that it has to do with finances. Number two is usually communication. Number three, in-laws. So couples still struggle with their finances, but I think one of the reasons is because they haven't communicated properly about it. We still deal with the who's in charge of the money. And what we usually say is you both should work on your budget and you both should pay the bills together. That way nobody feels like one is in control of it.
Claudio, so what are some of those things you spent $50,000 on?
What I collect is uniform patches, shoulder patches, and they do cost sometimes. You want me to show you those?
Yeah,
Let me just bring one.
They look like. Claudio collects police patches. I find it funny that his connection to law enforcement got him into trouble.
So I have them organized by state and by country. I only have just a few, 2,600 or so.
At least.
So
What's some of your favorite ones?
well, so here's
So you
probably
haven't
my
worked at
favorite
any of
one.
these, most of these
No.
places. You just collect.
So this is the Alaska State Police patch, and the value of a patch is based on the number of collars. So if you look at the number of collars on this patch, I don't know how many there are, 7 or 8. This patch, if you had to buy it, probably about $10, $12. Now, most of the patches that I have actually been given to me. I would go to a police station and identify myself as a chaplain, and that's for their patch, and they'd give it to me. But at that time, if I couldn't get a patch, then I would go online and buy it. And that's where it started adding up.
Is the number of colors makes it more valuable? Is that because it is more difficult to produce?
Absolutely, and of course, not just the colors, but the design. If you look at the Alaska,
It's very nice.
all the patches in Alaska are very distinct.
North Pole, Alaska.
Yeah, we've been there.
I've been through there.
Yeah, it's a
we
very
smoked
nice
there,
place.
That place.
So all of these patches, again, a simple one would probably be maybe $2, $3, whereas something like this would probably be $5. Something like this about $7.
Claudio.
Yeah.
Tell me what she has done stupid with her money.
You know, actually, I have to say she has not been the problem person, because she's the one that takes hours
You're
and
the
hours
problem
to
person.
choose. Yeah.
No, that's
She
true.
takes hours
It's
and hours
true.
to go shopping, but comes back with nothing. You know, which
That's
is
true.
what drives me nuts about shopping.
Yeah.
You know.
You see, John, I grew up in a home with 4 children, and we weren't wealthy by any means. And so I grew up in a home where all the shopping was done in thrift stores. I never had a new dress. I grew up in a very frugal situation, and I think it's actually hard for me to spend money on myself.
So you go still to thrift
I
stores?
still go to thrift stores. I mean, if I can get a $300 suit for $5,
One time she came home with a designer dress and matching shoes. Altogether would have cost $1,000, but she only paid $5 for it.
I feel like we ought to get the person that donated that new clothing and get them on the program. That's stupid money.
I just took my wallet and gave her $20. Said, buy you 4 more, honey, just because I'm very generous. I'm just
you got
taking
off
off.
cheap. You
Yeah,
got off easy.
no.
The honest truth is, I don't waste money.
We talked family, we talked finances, but I knew that Pamela had a hobby. I wanted to put her to the test to see if she could make me a believer in thrift shopping. When we entered the thrift store, Pamela made a beeline to the women's clothing. I knew we found the right person. Give me the rules for thrift shopping. I've never been in a thrift store.
Okay, John. Rule number 1. You never bring a man with you thrift shopping.
Okay, broken. What's rule number 2?
That's definitely broken.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
guessing you have to buy life insurance to wear these things?
Oh
Look at that.
dear.
So is your life insurance paid
This
up?
is why you never bring a man with you
My
to a
word.
thrift store shopping.
They look like they might fit you.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Rule number 2. You always go to a thrift store when you have plenty of time to look because you do
Okay.
have to spend time looking through the racks. You can't be
Okay.
rushed.
Broken.
Well,
We've got about, I don't know, 30 minutes.
okay.
Is that enough time?
Well, not really for a
I
thrift
bet
store.
you know
but
this whole store from A to Z.
I know the women's section pretty well. There's some really good deals hiding here. You just
Okay.
have to know where to look.
Okay. Any more rules?
You try to come on Sundays because Sundays have the best deals and a lot of these colored
Okay.
tickets are
Mhm.
half price off.
Okay. Well,
Why is
broken.
that? Because people
Broken.
are watching football
Okay.
games or
But
what?
Let's-
we are in luck today because the green tags are half price today. Here's an example of a really good deal. And I'll tell you why. This suit, this women's suit, is a name brand suit.
Mhm.
Okay? So if you can get this on half price day, you'll be paying $15 for a complete suit. That's probably a $350 suit.
Did somebody buy this at a store, never wore it, and brought it here?
Many
and-
times that's the case.
I bet there's a lot of people doing stupid things with their money. They're
Yeah.
buying clothes they don't need.
Because look, tags are on. Look, look at all these.
It's all there.
The thing is, like I said, you have to have time to look
Mhm.
because you're going to look at the name brand. You're going to
So
look
the
at
first,
how much.
but you don't look for the name brand first. You look for the, oh, I like that. You pull it out.
I really look for the name brands,
Do you?
John.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to look, was this garment taken care of by the previous owner?
So how
Because
do
some
you
of
tell
them are
that?
not. I can tell by the quality of the garment. I can tell if they followed the instructions regarding washing or dry cleaning. You can tell by looking at the garment.
Let's go take a trip on the wild side and see what you find in the thrift store for men.
Are you up for this?
I'm up for it. See if you can find me a shirt and a jacket
All right.
and a tie.
Oh dear. Okay.
3
You
things.
challenged me. So here are the men's shirts.
Okay.
So let's establish your size and look for some in your size.
17 and a half.
17 and a half.
Some of these shirts kind of look like what's hanging in my closet.
That's a key, John. I always look at the tag. I
you,
do.
You look at the brands, and I'm looking at the color. Okay.
Now see, you have to keep in mind, you have to picture this because they need ironing, sometimes cleaning,
All right,
but
have
definitely
folks do it.
ironing.
What do you got here? You
See,
good?
he gets
George
distracted.
Foreman
He's
indoor
distracted.
grilling mateys.
Are you hungry?
Well, I'm just looking for a bigger shirt to kind of fit.
I think we're looking for
Let's get
an
him
outfit.
Let's get him an extra large.
Yes.
We need a solid color, evidently.
Yes,
So
well,
what's wrong with that? That would be a blue and get a coat.
It's a solid color right there.
I didn't realize Claudio was such a fashionista. God bless Claudio.
I
A
don't-
blazer and a tie. So what did we do? Luck out?
maybe, perhaps. Well,
I can't do that color.
you can't do that color.
I can
well-
do these 2 colors.
All right, you could do the baby blue and that one.
This is pretty easy.
Well, let's,
And you said one
Look for the
rule
coat.
is you don't go shopping with a man.
no.
Not been too bad.
Have
I've
you
been
seen
pretty
that
easy.
man?
Yeah, the one that brought the grill book.
He gets distracted, when I'm trying to look at
Okay,
at
so
brands
what
or
would you
take
do
my
next?
time.
Do you get a tie and then a jacket?
There's your tie.
If that's what you want.
A tie.
It's a clip-on.
I want a tie. Now, let's do one of these.
Okay, which one?
Let's do
You know
this
what?
one because this has got a little rough edge here. Let's do
You
this
have
one.
to look carefully. Now that doesn't have a button-down collar. Are you okay
That's
with
okay.
that?
That's okay.
Okay.
Let's do this one.
All right, let's look for
So
the
we
jacket.
are going to
Well,
go for a
these are
jacket.
actually full suits. So we want, I know we're not looking for a suit today, but I just want to point out something. This suit today is $7 for
Okay.
a men's suit.
Okay.
There's
That's
another
nice.
tie. I like that one. Kind of for
How
a
does that
woman.
go here?
You need to go find one that goes with this shirt.
Oh, look at that.
No,
You're doing pretty
no,
good in this
I'm
thrift store.
vetoing your tie.
So we got to go find
John's
a
wife
sports
will
coat.
thank me later. Because you have that shirt in your hand, I'm looking for something that goes with that shirt too.
Not bad.
I
not
don't know
bad,
if it's
huh?
a long though.
Oh, what about one like that?
Like
It's a
these are
42.
suit coats. so
This
you
is a
don't want that.
42. Hey, you know what? This is a 4 button. I have never had a 4-button.
John, I don't think so.
I think I found it.
I think
I need a 4-button. I've always wanted a 4-button jacket. I just thought it was silly, so funny, all that outline stuff.
No, John.
Yeah, let's get a different shirt. No, but I like this.
The issue is he wears a 42 long.
This is a 4-button coat. I've never had a 4-button coat.
Well, I don't think you're going to have one now. So let's put that back.
Is this what she does to you?
Oh,
No, I told you I don't
You
go
don't
don't
shopping
go
with
shopping with him. Fitting room, you can try it. Are you really trying that one
Yeah.
on?
I'm
Here,
gonna
I'll
try
put
this
the hanger here. We might just get some money for it too.
Oh dear.
Whoa. Hey, you're a country singer. That kind of goes with your style.
I think it's a little too small. That was close.
Too bad.
Yeah.
You know, but I could
Well, you
lose the
can
weight.
sing a song about that.
You know, haven't you ever bought clothes thinking you'll lose the weight to get in them? So it might be
Okay, I'm just
that we can't find a coat,
yeah,
right?
I'm not because you're 42 long. I'm seeing a lot of 42s, but I'm seeing everyone.
I don't think it was
It's
the long
42
part. I think it was the
regular.
42 girth is
No,
what
everyone
was
is 42
happening
regular
there.
or
That's
42 short. I found
Too many
42
donuts
shorts.
at your house.
That's what it was.
Just take the shirt.
So the shirt
And
would
let's go
actually
get a tie.
Yeah, so we really don't need to
Good
look
luck.
for another blue
I
blazer.
gave you
Okay.
my best shot.
Well, you
Okay.
did good. Let's go find a tie.
All right.
Get one that goes with the shirt.
Yeah,
but
I really like that one.
this one?
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? You know, it's really slim. It's a skull and crossbones.
No, John. Does your
Oh,
wife
I
pick
got
out your ties for
suspenders
you?
anyways.
Suspenders. Well, that one don't go around my neck.
You don't
Look.
those suspenders, huh?
Well, that
how
one
about
would
this
work.
one?
That one would
This
work.
would be my pick, okay?
Okay, and how much is it?
$2.
$2.
And I think, I don't know if pink has a discount today. Look at that.
Okay. And
Look
with
at
this
that.
jacket,
It's
you got it.
perfect.
So that's what, $5 altogether?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to get out of here before Claudio gets uncontrolled.
See,
Unsupervised.
Are you a believer now in thrift stores?
I'm going to go buy this.
You're working on it. believe me.
I'm working on it. I had my doubts about going to the thrift store, but I had a lot of fun with Pamela and Claudio, and I learned some things in the process. Number one, if you want to stay within your budget, you might consider shopping for clothes at a thrift store. Number two, and I might disagree with Pamela on this just a little bit, shop together because that strengthens that family tie. And number three, wise money management, according to research, builds a strong marriage. Until next time, don't do stupid things with your money.